With me this morning are Commissioners Brown Bland, Clodfelter, Hughes, McKissick, and Kimmerite. In compliance with State Government Ethics Act, I remind members of the Commission of our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire at this time as to whether any member of the Commission has a known conflict with respect to matters coming before us this morning.
Chair Mitchell, I have a conflict with item number 6 under water and wastewater.
All right, the record will reflect that Commissioner Kimmerite is recusing herself from item number 6. All right, so it's been brought to my attention that public staff would like to take things out of order this morning, and so we will proceed accordingly. Ms. Profit, you are up with items 7 and 8.
I appreciate that. There. All right. Good morning. My name is Karen Profit of the Public Staff Water, Sewer, and Telephone Division. Communications items 7 and 8 present interconnection agreement amendments filed by AT&T North Carolina for commission approval. The public staff has reviewed the filings and recommends that orders be issued approving the amendments effective on the date they were filed.
Move approval of the recommendations.
All
Second.
right, it's been moved and seconded that the items be approved as recommended by the public staff. Any questions or discussion on those items? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Profit. All right, back up to item number 1.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Commissioners. I'm Tommy Williamson with Energy Division. Item 1 is an application from Dominion Energy, North Carolina for approval of a non-residential lighting and control systems program. The public staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval as filed. Thank you.
Move approval of the recommendation.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Questions or discussion on this item? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Williamson. All right, we'll proceed now to item number 2.
Good morning, Chair Mitchell and Commissioners. My name is Jordan Nader with the Public Staff Energy Division. Item 2 is a request by Piedmont Natural Gas for approval to adjust its rates under Appendix A of its tariff and service regulations effective May 1st, 2023. The public staff has reviewed the application and information provided by Piedmont and recommends the Commission approve the application as filed.
Move approval of the recommendation.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion on that motion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, let's proceed now to item 3.
Item 3 is a request by Frontier Natural Gas for approval to adjust rates effective May 1st, 2023. The public staff has reviewed the application and information provided by Frontier and recommends the Commission approve the application as filed.
Approval of the recommendation of public staff.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Nader. All right, public staff, item number 4.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Blaze Mitchell with the Public Staff Energy Division, and I have Sonia Johnson here from Public Staff Accounting Division. We are presenting item 4 today. Item 4 is an application filed by Public Service Company of North Carolina Incorporated, requesting approval of rates for its annual energy efficiency rider effective for the calendar year 2023. The public staff has reviewed the application, and the supplemental information is provided to the public staff during the review process, which includes the updated actual expenses through March 2023. On April 18th, the company filed reply comments agreeing to the public staff's recommendation on its annual report. As a result, the public staff recommends that the Commission approve the updated rates as presented in the public staff's comments and proposed order effective May 1st, 2023.
Move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Any questions on the motion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Mishna.
Thank you.
All right, we will proceed now to item 5.
Charles Junis, Director of the Public Staff Water, Sewer, and Telephone Division. Item number 5, Aqua North Carolina, Inc. filed a Conservation Pilot Program Annual Revenue Reconciliation Request. Based on feedback from Commission staff, Aqua and the public staff are agreeable to a revision to ordering paragraph 3. So it'll state, quote, that Aqua will notify the Commission and the public staff by October 1, 2023, if it intends to change the rate from 16 cents per 1,000 gallons to prevent the overall or under collection of the 2022 authorized deficit amount, close quote. Public staff has reviewed the request and recommends that the commission issue the proposed order as amended, allowing Aqua to implement a surcharge to recover the revenue deficit and requiring customer notice.
Move approval of the recommendation of public staff.
All right, so moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff and as corrected from the stand by the public staff. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Mr. Junis, I'd just like to express my appreciation for the work that's gone into this item and working through it with the company. Appreciate that time well spent. Thank you. All right, we will proceed to item 6. Mr. Junis, I assume we're still with you?
Yes.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Item 6, Old North State Water Company, Inc. and Polaris Hampstead LLC filed an application for transfer of public utility franchises and for approval of rates. Again, based on feedback from commission staff, Polaris and the public staff are agreeable to a revised Appendix C, which provides clarity and consistency with the related asset purchase agreement and schedules of rates filed in docket number W1300, subs 0 and 11. You should have received a copy of that revised Appendix C from commission staff. The public staff has reviewed the application and recommends that the commission issue the proposed order as amended, approving transfer, granting franchises, approving rates, and requiring customer notice.
All right, Mr. Junis, commission has several questions on this item. We'll direct the questions to you. To the extent that you need assistance, just call on it from the back of the room if necessary. First thing, acquisition adjustment of 228,000 and change. And then you all have agreed on a rate base. You set the rate base at 200,000. Just help us understand the difference between those two numbers.
Yes, ma'am. So there was essentially at the point in time where we cut off the analysis of what is plant and what is the amount of CIAC and accounted for accumulated depreciation and accumulated amortization, we had a negative rate base. And so that's why the acquisition adjustment is slightly greater than the rate base amount, the outcome. So that $28,700 was actually a negative rate base. And so that's why the acquisition adjustment is greater. And so the net result is $200,000 of rate base.
Okay. Any follow-up there?
So it's not an adjustment based upon CIAC received subsequent to the date of the stipulation. That's not the basis for the adjustment.
So again, the cutoff period, that it's a snapshot in time where we were establishing rate base and agreeing to that acquisition adjustment. This does not factor in any additional CIAC after that date that is identified in the settlement and the proposed order, which is my understanding, they've continued to collect additional CIAC. So obviously when you get to a rate case, that net rate base will probably be lower with the exception of additional investment that would potentially offset that.
Okay, so that answers the follow-up question then. So by the time we get to the general rate case, whenever that is, if there's additional CIAC between now and then, that will also be an adjustment to the $200,000.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
when we're looking at the total picture of plant and rate base.
Okay. Got some additional questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Commissioner
um,
Gladfelter.
just from the public staff's vantage point, can you want to offer any comments about how the systems have been working operationally since Plurus has been operating?
So
Everything okay?
yes, and just a quick update there. There has been actually already progress in decommissioning that site done by Old North State. So the cleanup has started for that site. And so that's going to be an improvement for those local customers. And then obviously service-wise, you're no longer relying on that plant and that waste is being sent to Plurus Hampstead. I think that additional customer base that will advance the timeline for future expansion for Plurus, but overall service is good.
Well, you anticipated the other question I was going to ask. The decommissioning process for the Majestic Ghost plant has already begun.
Yes, sir.
What's the timetable for completing that?
I don't have a set date. I'm happy to follow up if that would please you.
That would be great. Just as an information item, I don't think it affects the outcome of the decision, but just would like to know what's the timetable for completing the decommissioning and final closure of that plant.
Okay,
Okay.
will do.
Mr. Junis, just to confirm, all of the wastewater from the transfer areas is being sent to and treated by the MBR?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was as of mid-2021?
I don't have the exact date, but yes, you had implemented the bulk service arrangement. And then once that pump station was brought online, the waste was being transferred to Plurus Hampstead.
Okay. Mr. Junis, in review of the dockets, all of the various dockets involved and tangentially touching on this ultimate request here that you all have made, this situation has been going on for some time now, multiple years. Can you help me understand, just at a very high level, the reasons why it's taken so long to get to this point where we are today?
So there are obvious complications. You had to establish rate base, you had to facilitate an arrangement between two parties, and then you had the constant inflow of CIAC, which then, each point in time, if you're not looking at all the numbers as a snapshot, then there can be confusion.
And when you say facilitate an arrangement between two parties, you mean Plurus and Old North State?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
I mean, in all reality, there are challenges to reaching an agreement. And then obviously there were a revised APA and ultimately a settlement agreement. You also had the complaint proceeding, which delayed this final outcome also. So that is just some of the complicating factors, but ultimately you've already seen a beneficial solution both for the environment and for customers and done efficiently in terms of costs. So I think we have checked all the boxes in terms of a good outcome here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Junis. Any additional questions for the public staff? All right, I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd move this item be removed from this morning's agenda and moved into executive conference for further discussion and decision.
All right, any objections to the motion? All right, well, that motion will carry. All right, thank you, Mr. Junis.
Thank you.
Let's see, we have our minutes of the April 3rd staff conference before us this morning for approval.
Move approval of the minutes.
All right, moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion, the minutes? All right, hearing no objection, those minutes will be approved then. Any additional business for the commission this morning? All right, hearing none, before we adjourn, I would like to say briefly, I'd like to just take a moment, if you all would indulge me, to recognize and remember a member of the community that we have lost. You all may be aware that Kevin O'Donnell lost his life last week Kevin was a frequent, Kevin frequently appeared before this commission. He was a financial analyst and represented a number of clients before this body. Most frequently, CUCA has appeared before this body for many, many years. I know many of you in the audience know him well and worked with him frequently. And I just want to take a moment to recognize the work that he did here on behalf of his clients and the skill with which he applied his knowledge for the benefit of his clients, the information and data he put in front of this commission for us to make better and informed decisions, and the work that he did with all of you all in those moments when you all are able to reach consensus. So I do want to express my condolences to his family. Kevin was an analyst at work, but he was a father at home, and I know he was a friend to many, and a respected member of his community outside of work. So again, I just want to reflect on Kevin's presence here before us and the loss that everyone, most importantly, his family, has suffered. So with that, please remember every day as a gift and a blessing, and go forth and just do your best. All right, with that, we'll be adjourned. Thank you, everybody.